against my door, it said Chris Metzen. So I just saw him going into the room one day and I completely geeked out.
It's so strange coming into work and realizing, oh, I work on this thing now. I get to contribute to the world in whatever way that I can, and then seeing it go live in game, whether that's a couple months afterwards or even up to a year after I finish the task, seeing people react to it it's amazing, honestly.
For me, playing with my friends is probably the best part of World of Warcraft. Like, a lot of the memories I have growing up were just things I did with my friends.
I really like the communities in our games, especially in World of Warcraft. I've made a lot of friends. Definitely some of my closest friends are people that playing World of Warcraft. I've gone to a few different weddings of people that I met playing WoW.
WoW means a lot to me. I met my wife playing World of Warcraft, so it is a game that means an awful lot to me personally.
I met my wife through the game. She asked if we wanted to play arena together. We talked more than play, so I got to know her a little better. And many years later, we have a family together, and we're still playing WoW.
I would say there's maybe a good 50 to 100 people that I've come across and stayed connected with in my personal life and in professional life, that we really strengthened our bond playing World of Warcraft together.
Working on Hearthstone and just in the Warcraft franchise and at Blizzard in general is something I've always dreamed about.
To work on this game that I've played and been a fan of for most of my adult life, it's a dream come true. I think to work on World of Warcraft was something I could have never imagined.
My job entails as a senior test analyst, being on the team. Working on Warcraft Rumble, it's an incredible experience. And again, since I love the game anyways, I have the passion for it, right? So I love to just be a part of that whole experience.
I work in localization. I play on the Taiwanese realm, so I see firsthand players all over the world able to enjoy the game in the language that they're used to. It is a great feeling to see that.
Way back in the day, I was 12 years old, and somehow I ended up in a guild with a bunch of guys that were in their late 20s. They really enjoyed outdoor PvP, and even though I was a lower level, I would still join them from time to time, let them use me as bait for alliance players. My favorite memory is actually when I dueled my guild master on his out. I managed to beat him, and then for the first time ever, I unmuted my mic, and with the most high-pitched, squeaky, prepubescent voice, I told him, "How does it feel getting beaten by a 12-year-old?"
We had what we called computer time. So like our parents would ration how much time we would have for using a computer, where we'd have like 2 hours on, I would have like 2 hours on a Monday, Ryan would have 2 hours on a Tuesday or something. So yeah, we would have to trade off in that sense. Some days we might trade hours or...
Yeah, we used to sometimes save some of our allowance money to buy hours from each other to have more computer time.
My first game was Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos in the Warcraft universe. And then from there, I expanded beyond to the Frozen Throne. I have a lot of memories playing a lot of custom games. You know, a lot of those tower defense games that are super fun.
I was one of the main healers in our raid group. And I was home for the summer from college, and my parents parents had just gotten a puppy.
Good evening, folks. I'm Baroque, and welcome to the Warcraft 30th Anniversary Direct. We're going to do a little watch-along, go over and see some of the announcements, get a little nostalgic, and hopefully be in for some surprises. So grab your evening beverage, keep yourselves warm and toasty. Let's see what they've got in store for us.
My puppy's gonna die. Did not explain for them that
Do
through
let
the
me know
laptop
as we go
and wiped our
how my
entire
audio
raid.
is in comparison
And
with
that's one of
this
my
stream.
favorite
I won't be
stories,
talking
how
over
my
loads
puppy
of it.
Killed 25 people in World of Warcraft.
I loved.
Hence the
PvP,
subtitles.
and I think,
Just a note to say, I'm still a little groggy from yesterday.
I'm not that good.
It'll be a shorter evening of streaming.
I went on 10
We'll see how long this goes on for, and then I'll probably hit the hay early.
didn't even think about it. It just happened, and it's pretty awesome.
But Dragon Age will be back again
I
tomorrow.
still remember the first time I went to BlizzCon. It was the 2017 BlizzCon.
We're not far off
I
now.
was really excited. First time getting to see all of these big announcements for all these different games live.
Oh, Rumble. I gave Rumble a solid go, gave it a few weeks, and it turned into such a grind. I really wanted to enjoy it, but the game was actively making me not. Hearthstone's a game I put a lot of time into. I mean a lot of goddamn time. But it just got... Like with any collectible card game, it just got too much. Always be having that urge to spend money on it. And there's definitely ways to play it free, but man...
I've been
Nah, make
mired
it
in
tough.
Azeroth since the RTS days.
The RTS,
and
after
haven't
I
left
went
since.
back to Warcraft
I've been
3,
playing World of Warcraft for about 15 years
after
now.
I'd got into WoW, just to see
Which
the
is pretty wild
story.
to think about.
I have been playing the same
Got a load of the
character,
books,
Human Frost Mage, for all
comics,
15 years.
art
Yeah, I've been
books.
playing World of Warcraft for 20 years. Actually started like early alpha and beta.
I've been playing World of Warcraft, I guess, 21 years.
Similar story.
started
I
playing
got
when
in
I
at
was
the
5
tail
years
end
old.
of vanilla.
A lot of our systems and our code is, 20 plus years old. I've found files that were written before I was born.
I lived in San Diego at the time, and I heard that there was a midnight signing, and I got signatures from everybody who was there who worked on the game previously. And it's so good connecting with people who actually signed it for me. And, we get to share in like this experience of, like I was such a passionate fan, and, you signed this, and now I get to work with you as a professional.
Whether you want to just chill out and be solo and enjoy the world, or you want to like get in deep with your guildmates and like raid as hard as you can, there's a little something for everyone, and there's space for everyone to have a really satisfying experience, no matter your play style.
The future of Hearthstone's looking very bright. There's always cool new cards coming out.
Notice
We've
how they
got
show
plenty of
battlegrounds.
ways for both new and returning players to get into the game.
just never
There
got
is
into
magic here,
Battlegrounds.
and I think that magic will continue for the next 30, 40, 50
didn't really like
years,
Hearthstone,
and I'm
but
excited for what's to
Couldn't
come.
keep chucking money at it and hoping. Wanted a full collection of cards, kept having to disenchant old stuff. Let's see what they've got in store. Never played Warcraft 1 and 2. I'd be happy to see any kind of HD redo here.
Warcraft has always been my peace and my outlet.
I have such a deep love for everything inside Azeroth.
I thought, I'm gonna move on eventually, as if it was just any other game. And it wasn't.
I was a very introverted person, I was lonely, and then I accidentally stumbled upon World of Warcraft. I even ended up in a guild, and in the guild I even made some friends.
And we always come together to enjoy the moments that we create in the game, whether they're fun, competitive, or silly.
Really cool just to get a
You
random
sent me a
cinematic.
whispering name going, my water just broke. And I said, oh my goodness, I guess we better go to hospital. And you said, nah, let's kill this dragon.
And we did.
Whee!
Hearthstone changed my life.
I cannot picture my life without WoW.
Oh my god!
Doing one of these really heavy on the nostalgia reels.
Warcraft, for giving everything that you gave us so far. Here's to like 100 years more.
Which I'm not against. Like, I'm one of the target audience for that kind of thing. It's just going to tug on my heartstring.
When I say World of Warcraft saved my life, I really mean it.
The one of Rumble. Get out of the way first.
Hi everyone.
Hello, Holly.
Welcome to the Warcraft 30th Anniversary Direct. I'm Holly Longdale, the executive producer for World of Warcraft. Alongside Hearthstone, Warcraft Rumble, and the Warcraft real-time strategy games, we are all honored to be here to celebrate some big milestones with you and talk about the future.
Yes.
Many of us began our Warcraft adventures as players before we became developers at Blizzard. No matter which game we work on, we all share a deep love for the Warcraft universe. Today, each of the Warcraft development teams will be sharing what's coming up. Some of it next year, some just a few weeks from now, and some will even be available today.
That's the Rumble
so
stuff.
whether
I
you've been
betcha.
traversing the plains of Azeroth with a view from above, or chilling in the Hearthstone Tavern, sorting out your minis for your Rumble machine, or pursuing Xalatath in Khazalgar, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Now, what better place to begin than with the games that started it all? Here's Brad Chan from the Warcraft RTS team.
It's kind of funny how life ends up. I actually never thought about ever being a developer. When I was younger, I just wanted to play video games. Back in 2007, I was at a regional qualifier playing a game called Warcraft 3. After I qualified for the tournament, someone came up to me,
never
gave me
any
his
good at
card,
Warcraft
and was
3.
like, "Hey, we're looking for experienced RTS players to join our
You're
design
playing
team."
it, though.
Naturally, I said I wasn't interested. I was gonna go to the Nationals, win that, go to the Worlds, win that, easy. Well, it was a good thing I kept that guy's card, because 16 years later, here I am, working on a game that remains so important to me and so many players around the world. Throughout my career, I've stuck to a few guiding principles. When something is broken, you fix it.
Okay, so this is going to be
When something is
reforged
wrong,
then.
you make it right. And if things aren't good enough, you make them better. So without further ado, I'm here to announce patch 2.0 for Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Okay, this was expected, but how much are they actually going to
Available
do?
now, this patch overhauls the environments and lighting and revamps the user interface. In addition, we are up-resing all classic Warcraft 3 assets to HD. You can now customize the type of assets you want to play with and even mix and match if you like. We have also included a bunch of quality of life changes, such as
nice.
in-game hotkey customization, a revamped ladder, and much, much more. We hope you enjoy this update, which will be available to everyone who owns Reforged. Now, I'm not just here to talk about Warcraft 3. We're also here celebrating 30 years of Warcraft. So not only will Reforged be receiving an update today, but we are
Not making
also
me gonna
releasing
go and buy
fully
Reforged.
remastered versions of Warcraft 2 and 1. So you can experience the story from the very beginning.
How so?
These
though?
remasters have brand new hand-drawn visuals that capture the original art style from each game. And you'll be able
Cool.
to swap between the original graphics and the remastered versions in real time.
It feels very old school.
For Warcraft 1, we
Didier's old
added
style.
modern controls such as right-click move, bandbox select, and a faster game speed. Both games have also received various UI and UX improvements such as tooltips and health bars, mission select screen, and an increased unit selection. Warcraft 2 will still have multiplayer functionality, and all legacy custom maps will still be fully compatible and playable.
Starting off on a stronger foot than
We are
Reforged did.
also bringing back the Warcraft Battle Chest, which will include Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. So here's to 30 years of Warcraft, and I can't think of a better way than celebrating than reliving the story from the very beginning. Oh, did I mention? This is all available right now.
Oh.
The tides of darkness
Have you
have
chucked it
come
all on Game Pass, I wonder? Probably not if you want people to buy it. They just put StarCraft on there.
In truth,
was I who was betrayed. You must lead your people to their destiny.
Certainly something I'd love to stream down the line. Just to go through the trilogy of the RTS games.
We're being attacked! Aye, Captain. Work completed. By your command.
Work.
Now, we are one.
If they've done any touch-ups to it. I heard people were very upset with some of the cinematics for Reforged and how they changed it. Hard to tell on some of these models, mainly because they're jumping between them so quickly. The ammo. Oh, so they brought back that WoW mount as well. You got all meat carver. Gotta love that tavern music.
Pretty amazing to think that Hearthstone turns 10 this year.
As much as I can't get myself to play it, that music is
we've made the tavern a place
iconic
for sharing
for
joy,
itself.
excitement, and some very tall tales.
We've
made friends with Murlocs, battled old gods, and now we're traveling through space. But for me, the most incredible thing of all is that I get to work on my favorite game with such an amazing team. Ever since Hearthstone came out, we've been with you on that road to legend. I remember on my first climb to legend, I had played something like 500 games in
Never
one
got
month.
to legend.
And as the clock
Got
ticked
close
to
once or
midnight,
twice.
I was 2 wins away and didn't make it.
What was
But I
beta
played
I was
another
about there?
500 games the following
Wasn't really in
month and
place
made it.
then.
Shout out to Darkshire.
Highest I got was like 3 or 2,
But those 1,000
maybe?
games pale in comparison to the more than 160 billion games that we've all played over the last decade.
It's
And
crazy,
that's
it's
not
been 10
counting
years.
Battlegrounds. Can you believe that it's been 5 years since the mode launched at BlizzCon?
No.
That's 5 years of building Death Rattle Beast comps, magnetizing mechs, completing quests, and collecting trinkets. It's been awesome to watch Battlegrounds grow from what was pitched as the biggest tavern brawl ever into what it is today.
I mean, to be fair, since Battlegrounds came out, I kind of got into
community for being
TFT
with us
over the
this
years.
incredible decade.
Maybe I'd
And
appreciate
we're
it
looking
more.
forward to the next 10 years in the tavern together. The future is packed with even more places to explore and adventures to share. More expansions, more mini sets, and more surprises. Now, let's take a look at what's just around the
They've
corner.
just said you're going to space, which seems
One
a
of the
lot.
amazing things of working at Blizzard is getting to watch other teams pushing the boundaries on their own games. I think we're all genuinely fans of what our coworkers are up to, and it's really special when we find moments to collaborate.
Little Jimmy Raider.
What's up, everybody? I hope you're enjoying your
I don't really
adventures
do that.
among
Comes
the
without
stars
saying.
in the Great Dark Beyond. We loved working on this expansion and wanted to take our next mini set further into the cosmos than ever before. Prepare to travel beyond Azeroth, beyond Warcraft, and
Shadowlands.
into Heroes of StarCraft.
What?
I'm
Wait.
super excited for this mini set.
They're
It's
actually
the first
doing
time we've ever explored another
crossover?
universe this deeply in Hearthstone.
I suppose Magic
A
the
ton of
Gathering's
people
done
on the team,
all
so
sorts
much love
over
for
the
StarCraft.
years now.
So being able to bring it into the Hearthstone Tavern has been incredible. Some
Notice
might
there's
say
nothing on Heroes of the Storm anywhere.
about time.
Sadness.
Obviously, we knew we had to go big. The Zerg, Terran, and Protoss factions are represented on cards via a faction banner. Not only do the cards
It's
in
a
each
whole new
faction
thing
work
as well.
with one another, they're also usable across multiple classes. Each
Oh,
of the
no.
factions also has a hero card featuring one of the most iconic faces from StarCraft. The Zerg are led by the Queen of Blades herself, Sarah Kerrigan. She gives Death Knights, Hunters, Warlocks, and Demon Hunters
Oh, which one
access
of Paladin's
to an
gonna
aggro
get?
play
Terran,
style
probably.
with near endless swarms of Zerg cards. After all, what would a StarCraft mini set even be without its own version of a Zerg rush?
No.
With the Protoss, we have the legendary Artanis, seeking to unify his people. He grants his powers
That was either gonna be
to
him or
druids,
Zeratul.
mages, priests, and rogues. He focuses on powerful, high mana cost units and uses the psionic powers of the Protoss.
I should have figured this would have come to Hearthstone years earlier.
Finally, who else could we have to lead the Terran besides the iconic Jim Raynor?
And this just
Thanks to
opens
him,
the door to Diablo
warriors,
and other stuff.
Paladins, and Shamans will get a hold of the new starship keyword from the main set. But these aren't your average starships. They're battle cruisers. When we first started working on this mini set, we went to the team and asked, what does this need to have in order to truly feel like StarCraft? We've made sure to represent as many units from StarCraft as possible. There's even one
Not gonna
character
be so
from
costly,
Warcraft
though.
that snuck their way into the set. Grunty,
No!
Terran armored Murloc.
Goddamn Murlocs.
On top of everything else, Heroes of StarCraft
I know people love
has
them.
more cards than any mini set we've done before.
More
There's
to buy
so much to
then.
explore here. So many strategies,
This is why I
so many
have to.
interactions, and so much StarCraft
I
nostalgia.
can't love you like I used
And we might have some special music as well, just for the occasion. Heroes of StarCraft is coming in January 2025. But there's even more coming up for Hearthstone. We're making some
Diablo.
big changes to Arena.
Ooh, I loved Arena. It was like the even playing ground. Didn't need to buy a load of cards.
As Leo mentioned, Arena is getting a major glow up. But first,
Okay,
let's talk
this
about what
might
makes Arena
actually
special.
get me to play
Arena
the
is
game.
Hearthstone's premium draft mode, where you build your own deck from scratch at the start of every run. It's all about you flexing your deck building skills and
Building
card knowledge to
stupid
defeat
stuff.
your opponents. And believe it or not, Arena has stayed mostly the same for 10 years. So we thought it was finally time for a
That
little
people
bit
just
of an
use add-ons
update.
to
From
tell
now
them what to
on,
pick.
there will be 2 kinds of Arena to choose from. Normal Arena has a shorter format that lets you complete your runs more quickly, but still gives you that awesome competitive arena experience. And after you've established yourself in the normal arena, you'll be able to descend into the dark, dank cellar of the tavern, where challengers are engaging in high-stakes card play in our underground arena. Underground
Oh
has
boy.
a distinctive
Like the old
basement
Xbox,
aesthetic,
like, profile.
longer runs,
You
and a
set
new
your type
feature
of
we
play
call
underground.
redraft on loss. This means that when you lose, you'll have the option to redraft cards and edit your deck, refining it to up
Okay.
your chances of winning as you take on more hardened challengers. We heard you also want a way to show off that you're an arena champion. We got you. Arena ratings will be available for both the
Oh, not
normal
just a
and
number.
underground modes. Ranking for the 2 are separate, with the
Give me some
usual skill-based
skins.
matchmaking in normal arena. But in
least
underground
a card
arena,
back.
you'll be throwing caution to the wind and facing off against opponents of all skill levels. Whether you're an arena veteran or maybe you just haven't clicked that arena button in a while, we hope these changes offer you another exciting way you can enjoy your time in the tavern with us. And I'm happy to tell you all of this will be coming in the first half of next year.
Okay, so it's not like now,
Now,
but
here's Tyler to share even more of what's in store for Hearthstone.
even more. I would be tempted to try a refreshed
everyone.
arena.
As you can see, we've got a lot of really exciting things planned for the next few updates. But
So it
what
does make
kind
you
of
miss
game
Ben
director
Broad a
would
bit,
I
though,
be
doesn't it?
if I didn't
Big
spill
boisterous
even more
fella.
beans about what's coming
Don't know
next?
he's on doing Marvel
It's going
Snap
to be
now.
the year of the Raptor, and you'll be going on some awesome adventures in some of your favorite Azeroth locations. Next year, we kick things off with one of our most requested settings as we journey into the Emerald Dream. Here, you'll find yourself in the middle of a
Mini-set,
legendary
Druids of the
face-off
Flame.
between the Druids of the Emerald Dream and the forces of the Old Gods. They'll be fighting
Oh,
a
don't bring the Old
high-stakes
Gods
battle
back
over
again.
the fate of the World Tree in our first expansion
More
of the
Yogs
year.
are on
And things
randomness,
are going to
making
heat up
people
even
very
more
upset.
when the Druids of the Flame light up the mini-set. Our second expansion is also Hearthstone's first ever sequel, as we go back to Ungoro Crater. Join Elise on the hunt for a mythical
I was
lost
playing pretty
Tortonian
actively
city.
back then.
Spoiler alert, keep an eye
It was
on that volcano.
alright.
After uncovering the secrets of the Lost City, take part in a grand celebration in the 33.4 mini-set. The party-loving Tortolans are hosting a festival in honor of the mighty
33
dinosaurs of the
sets
crater.
is pretty
And
crazy
we'd hate for
consider
you to
over
miss
10
out on
years.
all that fun. Closing out the year is our third expansion, where you'll travel with Chromie through alternate realities to
Oh.
recruit legendary Warcraft heroes like you've never seen them before. This all
Just
leads
visually,
to an
I'd love
epic
to see that
showdown
last
against
one.
Murozond at the end of time, and you won't believe what happens next. You've seen just how much we've
What do you
got in
mean?
store for you over the next year.
Don't say
Heroes
that.
of StarCraft, revamped arena, and 3 awesome expansions. We're incredibly excited, and we hope you're incredibly excited. Thank you so much
See
for
at the
being
end-
part of this
end of
incredible
time,
journey.
working title.
10 years in, and our adventures in the tavern together are only just beginning.
Can't take so much of my money, Hearthstone. or Warcraft Rumble. As we said earlier, I tried it, got about 2 or 3 weeks in, and it's
Blizzard has this
just
awesome
too
tradition of
grindy.
sharing the
It was
journey
really,
that
it was
each team
fun.
took to bring their
It's
games
just
to life.
so grindy. It might have changed since then. I know I haven't tried.
I think this museum is a beautiful way to relive the memories of development and share that passion with the rest of Blizzard. What's up, everyone? It's been about a year since I stood on the main
man.
stage of BlizzCon and we launched Warcraft Rumble together with
Hot
all of you.
Bugger's got some right bags under his
What a
eyes.
year it's been. All of us on the
Rumble
team have
team
had
just
so much
cranking
fun
it.
watching you dig into our game and explore the hero collection, the army building, the nail-biting finishes. You've beaten over 900 million bosses. And on the matter of Alliance versus Horde, you picked Team Jaina almost 10% more. But
Fascinating.
maybe, most importantly,
Horde
you
usually
summoned
wins each
over
time.
1 billion angry chickens. That's 2 billion chicken wings.
Cut.
In just a second, we're
Jeremy, we're trying to shoot Rumble here.
Oh, we're being
Rumble?
silly buggers, are we?
Oh, I know a little bit about that. Scoot the camera. Cool. Awesome. When we started working on Warcraft Rumble, we wanted to make something that harkened back to our strategy roots. Like the first time I booted up Warcraft 2 on my dad's PowerMax 7100 66 AV. I'm stoked to play those new remasters. But we also wanted to do something in our universe that we'd never done before. So we started imagining that maybe somewhere in the Hearthstone Tavern, there was a mysterious arcade machine that printed miniature versions of the heroes and villains of Azeroth and zapped them to life for you to collect and command. In those kind of early
Okay,
days
that was the
when we were
pitch.
establishing the art style of Warcraft Rumble, we wanted a sense of tactility. We wanted to be able to pick up and touch the art that we were creating inside of the computer. So some of us went and printed minis and painted them up like this, and that's kind of really where all this came from.
Oh no, now
All
they're
of
gonna
these
sell
minis
boxes of
were
the minis.
painted by our team. And well, if I'm a little bit biased, but this little guy's my favorite.
what does that say underneath?
Oh, under here? Oh, it says Jeremy. But we've done more than paint minis since our game launched. We've added new dungeons and at least one new mini every single season. We've got the Dark Moon Fair, new zones, and a whole new family feud experience in the game. We added our first raid, Molten Core, and laid siege to Stormwind. In our latest season, we even bust down the doors of Ironforge.
Oh, just going for Alliance cities.
And we ain't stopping there, are we, Vic?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up. Starting right now, if you hop into Rumble, we're running our first anniversary event with some truly excellent loot.
We're celebrating
No,
1 year of
absolutely not.
Warcraft Rumble, so if you jump in after the stream, you'll be able to snag some super cool rewards, like the very valuable looking gold kobold, which we affectionately call the Kogald. Okay, have you scanned this thing yet?
This
Great.
is not powerful enough FOMO
We've
for
also
me.
been
I will
working on
resist.
something really exciting for later in the season. There are some characters in Warcraft that don't fit so cleanly into just one of our families. So we're adding split leaders. These leaders belong to 2 families at the same time, which really expands the possibilities of how you build out your armies. And we're not just adding 1 split leader, we're starting with 3. Up first, fighting for the Alliance and Cenarian families, is Malfurion Stormwind.
That makes sense for Malfurion.
And representing
Got
the
a very
Horde
small
and Blackrock
chest.
families, we got Chieftain and former War Chief Orgrim Doomhammer.
Yeah, he doesn't get
And
much
finally,
love.
leading undead and beasts is Anu Barak.
Beasts?
But before any of
Those
these
are
3 new
spiders.
leaders join the fight, we're going to be reworking one that we released this time last year. Sylvanas Windrunner is finally taking her rightful place among both the Horde and undead. We've got an awesome season ahead of us and can't wait for you to
It
check
makes
it
sense.
out.
It's still,
We'll
it's
be
not
right
enough for
there
me.
with
Like,
you.
if they just
To our
said,
amazing
also,
fans,
it's way less grinding.
Thank you for an incredible first year of Warcraft Rumble.
Obviously,
and
they
for your
wouldn't say that. It's not
unwavering
exactly
support.
marketable, is it?
Your passion fuels our creativity and truly drives us forward. But there was one more thing we wanted to talk
Oh,
about.
they're all going to have
Jeremy.
one more bloody thing.
Right? There was one more thing we wanted to talk about, right?
Through the icon door.
Nope, that's all I had. See you later.
The poor bugger that had to make that door. Stick all those up individually or paint them. We're putting it in WoW, so while you're queuing, you can play Rumble. You son of a they're doing it. This might actually get me to play the damn nope, he's just bringing out his phone. No, they are. Don't just say it's a PC version. Have it within the WoW client. you're just gonna miss your queue. Yeah, it's just the PC. Like, you got me all excited being like, oh, you can just run it within WoW. That's what I always wanted with Hearthstone. Go to a table, hit a button, bang. Right. The juicy bit now. I'm hoping so, at least.
We are so excited that you're here to celebrate 20 years of World of Warcraft with us. When the game first came out in 2004, I remember Facebook had just launched. I'd been in the game industry for a handful of years when I picked up WoW.
Oh, he's done a really good job,
I was
to
in
be fair.
awe. Even when I was running about and exploring on my Night Elf Hunter, I made friends who would group with me and tackle just about anything, including helping me save 40 gold for my first mount. I loved it. I still do, just like many of you. And as most of you know, the game saw absolutely explosive growth in the early years and brought multiplayer gaming to the mainstream. That in turn created countless friendships, camaraderie, and escape for people every day. It still does 20 years later.
Gotta show off those cinematics.
We dug into our history and discovered that across 2 decades, together, we've accumulated 1 billion days of time played in Azeroth.
The mid stats are sure, but come on.
So many of you have joined us over the years. Some of you have met partners in the world and gotten married. Some of you have even named your kids and pets after characters and
to a lot of my old guild
locations in
mates.
the game. Veterans from all over the world. Those who are hearing or visually impaired or have physical challenges. We've welcomed seniors, even whole families playing together with their kids, and so many more who call our world home. No matter who you are, when you come to Azeroth, you can live how you want and be who you want to be. It's a gift for so many, and certainly to us. We feel it every day.
The colouring wall.
One of
this will be
those
the
special stories is
documentaries.
live now on Netflix,
Yep.
and a documentary called The Remarkable Life of Evelyn.
It's on my watch
Matt
list.
Steen, who played a character named Evelyn, lived a life in Azeroth that he couldn't in the real world. He suffered from Duchenne muscular dystrophy for most of his life and fought it courageously alongside his incredible family, who I'm proud to have met and fallen in love with. Because of Mott's and his role-play guild called Starlight, his family discovered the power of online game communities and advocate for gaming around the world as a source of joy and companionship.
Even just reading up on it,
Sadly,
it's a very
Mott's was
heartfelt
taken
story.
from this world and Azeroth far too soon. Because of Mott's and stories like his, we were inspired to create a charity pet program for Classic and our modern game to support Cure Duchenne, a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving and extending the lives of those affected by Duchenne muscular dystrophy. We want to thank you in advance for giving to this cause that offers support to people just like Mott's. This little cutie is Revan, and he's available until January 6th. He was inspired by the detective agency Mott's created for his busy
Always happy for
role-play
charity
life in
pets and
Azeroth.
stuff.
Right now, we have our 20th anniversary celebration running in-game.
I
We've
just
got
bought all of the
modernized
cosmetics.
Tier 2 armor sets,
All done.
classic time walking, new world bosses, trading post items, rewards, and more with all that nostalgic flavor. In the War Within expansion that we released a few months ago, we've taken the leap into the first chapter of the World Soul Saga. More coming on that.
Yeah, big
and of
trilogy.
course, Classic is always cooking. But this moment is about you. You're the thundering heart of World of Warcraft and always have been. Stay tuned as we share what we are serving up for you. And thanks for making Azeroth a place you call home.
There's 5 minute morning streams. Good morning, Azeroth, you know. Ah, the classic people. I can't bring myself to go back. Maybe there's like a morbid curiosity to go and look.
Hey everyone,
Clay and I are so excited to be here today during this anniversary celebration to talk about what's coming up for WoW Classic.
Like, I didn't understand the game or gaming in general way back then.
Warrior is still fing new adventures in Azeroth. Shout out to all my buds on Tacondrius.
Feels like just yesterday I was on my Night Elf Druid, ganking some buddies on the Teneris realm at the Crossroads. Sorry about that.
Being on the Classic team and getting to help contribute to this incomparable legacy, which has breathed new life into the original Classic experiences.
It has done really well. You can't argue with that. Even if it's not for me, I can respect how well it's done.
Not only about what parts
it's a
of WoW's
strength
history they
WoW
want to
can
see
do
come
that
back,
other
but
MMOs
also their
can't.
passion for things we try and have experimented with.
Speaking of us taking some pretty big swings, in Season of Discovery, we've loved watching you use your new class abilities, take on our all-new level-up raids,
Evening Cupid in the chat. You know, hardcore is interesting. I know I wouldn't get very far.
Unlocking very
at
soon
all.
here, which will lead right into the launch of the Encourage raid.
Yeah, more
This will
of
bring
curiosity.
new
Maybe I'll
changes
try
and
it
surprises
sometime.
that we can't wait to bring to you. Fun new mechanics, difficulty changes, new rewards. You know us well enough by now to know exactly
Season
how
Discovery
we'll mix
also
it up
seems
as
to be
you
working
wager
pretty
your
well for them.
sanity
That
for
genuinely
ancient
almost got me hitting the button for it. Did
Beyond
Season
that,
of
for Season
Discovery.
of Discovery, we have
It
one
just
more
you still
phase to
had
come. We
a
previously
lot of
announced
stuff.
we will progress through all the phases of the original Classic era. So get ready not only for Naxxramas, but new instance content featuring the Scarlet Crusade, as well as adventures in Deadwind Pass.
Ooh.
Now to Cataclysm Classic, where we recently launched the legendary Firelands. You've undertaken difficult challenges.
Ooh, even you only got to the 40.
And his feet, and are hopefully a few steps closer to getting your very own Dragonwrath staff. We're looking forward to bringing you the final phase of Cataclysm
What
Classic.
ended up getting you?
When our
Was
Hour
it just
of Twilight
overpulling
Pass
some
and
mobs,
Dragonfall
a bad
Raid
dungeon
launch
run, some
early next
PvP?
year. I know you Classic players out there must be curious where we're going next. But let's be honest, you know where we're going next.
I mean, you're going to Mists. Like, clearly you're going to... Yeah. Well, you haven't skipped one yet. You're just going to go through each of them until we get to, like, Shadowlands Classic. You know what I mean? At this point, once you do Cataclysm and you've gone beyond Wrath, you just don't stop at that point. I feel like, unless in Warlords you're going to rebuild the cut content, like, it's going to start hitting a snag. Like, Mists was, like, one of my most active times in it. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Wrath, but Mists, I was at an age where I could really appreciate the game more and play it to a better standard for myself. You were crying, oh no! That's something about hardcore. It's like, it's all gone. Oh no. I get that's the point though. I don't know enough about the classic game to feel like I'd give it a good showing, more than all else. Where's Taran Zoo? No. No Zoo or Cho. Come on.
The Classic team is proud to announce that Mists of Pandaria Classic is coming, and we can't wait to bring it to you next summer. With its legendary class design and incredible raids and dungeons, set amongst a gorgeous environment and backed by an unforgettable soundtrack, we'll be traveling back to experience
I just
all
played
that
loads of
Pandaria
remix,
has
you
to
know, I
offer
don't
together.
feel the need. That was the thing with remix, you'd have thought, oh, they've done remix, they're not going to do Pandaria Classic, but
Mists of Pandaria
Yes,
Classic
the train's
is
just
super exciting
rolling.
for all of us, as well as Season of Discovery, and we love that we'll continue to be on that journey with you. But we know, we spend some time on the internet, and we've heard some of you out there, you want something fresh.
Which is why we are so pleased to announce that we are bringing you the Classic experience.
Come on, what?
All new Fresh Realms with the WoW Classic 20th Anniversary Edition. And it's happening soon.
How soon, Clay?
Actually soon.
Classic.
These realms will be going
Like a
live
joke.
next week on November 21st, but you won't have to rush to level 60. Classic is all about the journey after all. As we've made a change, and our first raid, Molten Core, won't unlock for a few weeks after launch.
We'll be launching realms of all flavors, PvP, normal PvE, and
Oh, so
for
it's
the
just a
very
big
first
reset
time,
set of servers for
hardcore,
folks to
which will
start
progress
again.
through the phases in lockstep with the other two. This means a fresh start for everyone at the same time, together on a level playing field with fresh economies on very large realms.
If you missed out on jumping into WoW Classic's initial launch in 2019, this is the perfect time to join our community.
So then,
these servers will also launch with some of the quality of life features that came later on, like the Chronogoon Displacer to save your world buffs, and the improved PvP honor ranking system. And yes, we're also pleased to announce that these realms will progress to the Burning Crusade Classic.
What, are you just gonna do this reset every few years? So people can keep
Launching
starting
these
up
servers
fresh?
Close to the exact date, World of Warcraft
I
came
mean, I
out
can see it
20
working
years
for 'em.
ago, alongside all the work we're doing for Season of Discovery. Cataclysm Classic and Mists of Pandaria Classic means so much to us. We love this game, and we love the community that has made Classic Realms their home alongside their friends.
From all of us on the Classic team, thank you. This amazing journey is one that's been co-written by you, our incredible community.
Good for the Classic folks, you know? I'm glad they're having a good time. Oh yes, the Harrowed.
Hi everyone, we're in the middle of such an incredible moment for World of Warcraft. The World Soul Saga kicked off in August with the launch of The War Within, and we have been so excited to dive into the expansion alongside all of you. Whether you enjoy raiding, dungeons, delves,
this is the bit for me now.
Collecting appearances, pets and mounts,
Got it all. I've spent all my bronze. I'm good.
World, we hope you found a part of Azeroth that brings you joy. It's humbling to be standing here on the eve of WoW's 20th anniversary.
Ian's really been through the
20
ringer.
years ago, I was fresh out of school, and I had just seen enough of the beta to know that I needed to play this game, and then immediately stopped to avoid spoiling the experience for myself. I'd booked a couple days off work for launch, and was looking forward to really diving into Azeroth. But little did I know that my server would be offline for the first few days due to overwhelming demand. Shout out to Mal'Ganis. But even less could I imagine how this game would in so many ways define the rest of the course of my adult life.
Hey up, that's new.
So, let's talk about what's coming up for World of Warcraft.
So they are going to do stuff for the
Starting
Harrowed.
with
Good
what's on
stuff.
the horizon. We have 1107 Siren Isle, which is currently up on our public test realms.
Yep.
This update will go live next month, and
Oh,
it has
that's
something
soon.
for everyone. On the narrative front, this update includes epilogue quest lines for Dalaran and the Kirin Tor. No spoilers, but this storyline features the mysterious Haranir, who also played a starring role in our expansion release cinematic. We'll also get into the prologue for where we're going next, but more on that in a minute. 1107
They're
also,
gonna
of
show
course,
off the-
brings its namesake, the
It's like
Siren Isle,
Legion, they'll
a
show
new
the next
outdoor
couple
environment
patches.
to explore, full of mysteries to uncover, and rewards to help catch up your alts.
Yeah, our
and
first
prepare
visual
for the
ring
next
that
War
isn't a
Within
toy.
season ahead. Plunderstorm is returning.
Oh,
This
the
time with
Battle
a Plunder
Royale.
store to give you more flexibility in earning your rewards instead of that linear renown track.
Mhm.
Also making a return will be the latest iteration of our Turbulent Timeways event and a Winter Veil revamp.
I don't remember
We can't
Turbulent
wait for
Timeways.
you all to experience this update next month. As an additional treat for those of you invested in the story of the War Within, we will be releasing a novella that explains exactly what happened to Jaina and Thrall after they left us. This novella is narrated
Sure.
by none other than Chris Metzen and available today.
Oh, it's like a audiobook. Happy for that.
So, I know many of you have already seen
Okay, it's
1107, but you have to be wondering where the War Within is going to take us after that.
Oh, Dalaran.
Okay, so following Xal'atath's trail is going to lead us to a location that I've been personally excited about since we first settled on the idea of an underground expansion.
It's the Goblin place.
Undermine.
Yep.
The capital of the Goblins' trade empire. Fittingly, our name for the 11.1 patch is Undermined with a D. Now, this is a city unlike any city we've seen before in World of Warcraft, standing as a testament to the intelligence and creativity of the Goblins as masters of technology and alchemy. And as our adventures continue,
Not
we
my
will learn
vibe,
more
but
about Goblin
it's where we're
culture
going.
than ever before. What's important to them, what problems they're trying to solve, what they're capable of as a society. Everything that
deals
makes them
we
truly
need.
unique, beyond the humor and the explosions. Though, just to be clear, there's going to be a whole lot of explosions. You'll arrive at an Undermine that's plunged into conflict between the four major goblin cartels: Steamweedle, Blackwater, Bilgewater, and of course, the Venture Company.
Where's Gallywix at?
You will align yourself with a group of your choice and run into notorious goblins like Monty Gazlo, Renzik
you,
the
bitch.
Shiv,
Hate goblins.
Marin Revelgaz, Marin Noggenfogger, and more. Now, if you're going to be in
I do
cahoots
need
with
that
the
type
Goblin
of shine.
Cartel, you can't be seen rolling around in anything less than
Oh,
a
God.
truly blinged out ride. So early on,
It's like the
you'll
opening.
earn
It's going to be a
vehicles
GTA
designed
thing.
just for Undermine
Where's the
to push the
Yokas at?
boundaries of locomotion.
You
within
know it's
World of
never
Warcraft.
happening, Cupid. You know it's never
Undermine
happening.
was built for speed, with roads designed for driving, which is just as well, because this car travels much,
Maybe
much faster
after the
than
trilogy,
your regular ground
then
maps.
ogres.
You can also further adjust your car's driving characteristics. Do you prefer grip? Or
Also,
do you
they're
want to
going
drift
into
more?
like the
Do you want more
Guild Wars 2
acceleration, even if
style
it's gonna
of
come at the expense of your
mounts
top
that
speed?
do a bit
That's
more.
up to you. You can try it
Also
all
stops you
and roll the
flying
streets of
around
Undermine, living your
and
life
slows it down a bit.
440 yards at a time.
I'm going to crash all the time.
We'll also be adding a new dungeon in Undermined,
Aye.
Operation Floodgate,
I bet
which is
they
a
do
race
happen
to
at some
stop a
point.
group of goblins from blowing a dam that would
They've been
bring
requested
ruin
for a long
to the
time
ringing
of
deeps.
ogres.
This dungeon will also be immediately available as part of our new Season 2 dungeon pool on Heroic, Mythic, and Mythic Plus difficulties.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
alongside the
Demon
4
Hunter did
other
eventually
launch
come out.
dungeons and 3 returning legacy dungeons. Now, we'll have many more details in the weeks ahead, but I can tell you that one of those legacy dungeons, naturally, in light of our goblin theme here, is the Motherlode from Battle for Azeroth. Continuing to build upon one of our favorite parts of the War Within, this new zone brings with it 2 new delves for you to explore, and we're creating new variations on the existing delves. We're also introducing seasonal updates to Bran Bronzebeard, a new adversary to follow Zek Veer, and a new set of goblin-inspired curios.
So it is still
for
Bran. Is it going to be
Of
Bran
course,
for the whole
a new
expansion?
season also means a new raid zone. We have an 8-boss raid called the Liberation of Undermine coming your way, which takes you through the streets of the city and into the magnificent Galagio, brimming with color and extravagance.
Yeah, but
that
where that
also
Gallywix?
hides the dark secrets of its owner, the one and only Gallywix.
There he is.
And
Let's
for the
put him
arena
down for good.
PvPers out there, we're also introducing a new arena map set right amidst the city.
But then...
Now, some of you may be wondering how Xalatath fits into all of this, and how goblin politics relate to the fate of our world soul. But rest assured, Undermine plays a vital role as a continuation, a next chapter in the many stories that are unfolding in the War Within. We will have a lot more to share on that front in the months ahead.
Not here and now. My, what are the Arathi doing? What are you teasing?
And that is just the beginning of what we have planned for the next year. Now, as you can see, 2025 is going to be an incredible year for both modern and classic WoW players.
Nightfall content, what's that mean? No, no, come back!
As the World Soul Saga continues to unfold, we are reflecting on these past 20 years with immense gratitude as we lay the foundations upon which to build the next 20. On behalf of the entire World of Warcraft team, thank you so much for being the heart of the history of Azeroth. Whether you've just joined our community, been with us for the last 2 decades, or somewhere in between, thank you for making Azeroth your home. And speaking of home, the team
You
does
son of a
have
gun.
one
You son
more
of a gun.
thing
Player
to share
housing.
with you.
I was about to say, this, it needed a little something more. It's happening. Surely this isn't a tease. Surely this is actually happening. Music, don't do this. They tease it. They just teased it. On midnight. Midnight is player housing. The people predicted that for like Quel'Thalas being
Thank you for joining
done.
us today and for being with us for the past 3 decades. The Warcraft universe is a living, breathing world that's been experienced by over 250
you'd seen a little more
million
of it,
players
but-
around the globe. That's millions of
Whoa.
stories of adventure, laughter, and true connection. And as the
Big
years
though.
have passed and our communities have grown and evolved, the statue behind us reminds us all how important Warcraft is and continues to be.
Oh, the tenant's
It
written
serves
around
as
it.
a reminder of our shared passion for building Azeroth together. And it's you who truly bring Warcraft to life, our players, and the communities you are a part of. Thank you for being the lifeblood of this world that means so much to all of us. 30 years of history is the perfect foundation upon which we will build
Player
a
housing.
bright future ahead. And we
Evening,
can't
AJ.
wait to walk that
I think
road
you've just walked
alongside
into the end of it.
And
Well,
before
player
we
housing's
go,
coming,
we
so
want to share something very special.
Oh.
This September, 190 performers took to the stage to celebrate
Oh, it's
20
a
years of
musical
World of
event.
Warcraft with a series of concerts in Switzerland.
It's fantastic music.
Prepare to dive back into the history of World of Warcraft through its incredible soundtrack performed live.
I was hoping she was going to say.
And whether this music invokes cherished
And the
memories,
next movie.
or you're hearing some of these pieces for the first time, we hope you enjoy the performance. Here's to the next 30 years.
Bless him. How long must it take him to put that big, like, the art up on the wall? Nothing too crazy or unexpected. I'm sure folks who wanted a Warcraft 4 announcement will be a little disappointed. Some remasters for the rest of it, though. Rumble, Hearthstone's adding StarCraft, sure. Well, they've said they want the game to keep going that long, Cupid. Like, I imagine they can. At some point, they're just going to have to revamp the engine. Oh, they just rounded us out with some music. They are. I was hoping for, like, what they did with Legion, giving off a few more patches down the line, just a few more details. Like, when Legion happened at BlizzCon, it was really exciting the following year to be like, oh, and here's the next patch, and the next patch, and then we're going to fight Kil'jaeden on Argus. That was really cool. It looks like they're keeping things very close to the chest. Oh no, Cupid. Even on the lowest of settings? Oh dear. To be fair, they have kept it optimized for so very long. Oh, so this is what people went and saw live. That's very silly. No, the only big, like, surprise announcement was probably player housing, which, as many have predicted, was coming in midnight. Otherwise, a little lackluster for 30 years. A lot of fires in the iron, maybe. A lot of irons in the fire, rather. Doesn't work the other way around, does it? I know, Cupid. I like Heroes of the Storm. I've got such a soft spot for. It was a case of poor. I said so much on like the morning stream. It was such a case of poor timing. Like, League and Dota had already established themselves. So when Heroes finally came out, people were like, oh, this is garbage. It's not one of the two I'm playing. And, you know, didn't even really try it. Or scoffed at some of the ideas it was doing. I really enjoyed Heroes of the Storm. I really enjoyed it. It's just, it's hard to really press on a MOBA solo, at least for me. I'm glad it wasn't just shut down, though. I'm glad you can still play that game. Maybe I'll do a few streams sometime, I don't know. I got enough in the damn backlog, but I got a real soft spot for it. They added a lot of cool characters and mechanics that I felt the other MOBAs weren't really trying at all. Stuff like Cho'Gall, having two people control the same character, Lost Vikings controlling three at once, Deathwing just being massive. Stuff like Abathur, who never went to lane, who annoy the hell out of me. I get what you're saying. I think they just didn't want to end it up. And they really wanted to emphasize that team play. And it meant for people who could carry those games just end up feeling frustrated. Being like, oh, if this was a League game, I'd just be winning as the game right here. And like, as a more casual player in the MOBA space, I enjoyed that more. Because it meant, a lot of the time, a comeback was possible. Like, it was more than doable in HOTS. Whereas in those other games, it's way harder to push a comeback if someone just gets really carried and fed and, you know, that ball rolls too far down the hill. Out of control. As I say, at least it's still going. Give it a go again sometime. Oh, there's that big one. Yep, the audience know it. Great fish hook to the nostalgia. That first cinematic song. Aye, that was the downside of it. Actually getting people down if you weren't really coordinated was a lot tougher. Especially, as say, if you were ahead. Nah, exactly, AJ, exactly. It leaves that door open way more. Whereas something like, there's so many games of League that are like, you know, maybe we can fight, and everyone's like, we surrender, and it's like, I don't know, where's your drive to fight and improve if we just surrender in the moment, like they've got a slight advantage? And I was never any good at League, don't get me wrong. There was maybe a period of time I was okay. You know, I was okay at MOBAs. I could fight a little bit. Again, like with any of them, you really had to have, pardon me, teammates. Don't show that Murloc Beach. Go away. Got murdered in too many Murloc Beaches like that. Shoot, shoot. And the drums. The magic pixel. At least gotta respect the music they're putting. You know, I can never go to a BlizzCon. Happily go to one of these. The age difference for other people singing, it's pretty crazy. The man's just got keys. What is the name of the keys instrument? I was hoping for some crazy bangers as we went through. Maybe a Warcraft 4. Maybe a new, like, show or film they were planning. Player Housing's still pretty good. It's excellent music to have a love affair with. It's always been bangers.
Heroes of Azeroth, and welcome to World of Warcraft 20 Years of Music. My name is Charlotte Pyle, Senior Music Producer at Blizzard Entertainment. Tonight we are thrilled to present a live orchestral performance celebrating the immersive soundscape.
We can see your cards, my dear. We can see your cards.
A game that has captivated millions around the world for more than 2 decades. The World of Azeroth has been brought to life by a stunning array of musical compositions, each one enhancing the epic stories, majestic landscapes, and intense adventures that define this iconic
Invincible
game.
from Wrath of the Lich King.
These
That one
compositions have become a beloved soundtrack
I used to
the
have on
adventures
repeat
and
all the
battles
time,
faced
even
by
in recent
countless
years.
heroes. As you listen tonight, allow yourself to be transported through time and space as we explore some of the most memorable and powerful pieces from each expansion. Thank you all for joining us, and enjoy the performance.
Thank you. And we'll do a few of these. I can imagine AJ just really go deep into it. I mean, Phil Spencer at the head of Microsoft says he'd love to see them go back to Warcraft. Maybe now they're owned by Microsoft, they can have that creative liberty, but they gotta recoup that cost first. Unfortunately. And I don't know if they have a, like, the RTS team doing those free remasters. So you weren't here at the beginning, but Warcraft 1 and 2 have got a HD remaster, which has dropped right now. Like, you can go pick those up. And Warcraft 3 Reforged has kind of a 2.0 patch to update some stuff. It didn't look... There's a lot of visual stuff, UI stuff, and like ranking leaderboard stuff. I don't know if it was quite enough to win me over for it, but they also said, oh, we're selling a war chest where you get all 3 of them. Didn't say if it was going on Game Pass or anything like that. But with that remaster stuff out of the way, mayhaps they can focus on a Warcraft 4. I think maybe when this trilogy of expansions for WoW is over and the story has kind of all been tied together for this whole many years, maybe then a Warcraft 4 makes more sense to open up the door again for new stuff. I have no idea if it's on Steam. They just said it's available now. I won't say remake. It is a remaster. It is a fresh coat of paint. You can swap. It's like like a lot of HD redos. You can flick the old graphics to the new graphics and such. And I haven't checked as of yet. I don't know if it's on Steam. I'd be surprised, but they have been putting more of this stuff on Steam. It's not like WoW itself's on Steam, but I mean, it'd be pretty good for them if they did. But I'd wager it's only on Battle.net and maybe on the Microsoft Store. But I feel like if it was on the Microsoft Store, they'd have just said, oh, and it's on Game Pass. Like 1 and 2 were games I never got around to playing. I played Warcraft 3 after getting into WoW. And 1 and 2, I mainly read up the lore in like books, wiki pages, the comics. There's certainly ones I'd love to go and see myself. Like just go through the trilogy for a few weeks. At some point. No, ye old elf music. There's an elf in the quiet. The Sunwell. That's where I do Trial of Style. I imagine this music from the Blood Elf place will be getting a big old redo with Midnight coming up as well. Man, I can't remember the last time I got a PC game box. For back then, for coming it with a disc. I remember first getting WoW, it being on too many discs. Far too many discs. Ages to install. I was saying earlier as well, maybe one of the reasons they're not oversharing at the moment is because of how stuff gets pulled back. Speaking of game boxes, the Wrath of Lich King box was like the dance studio and aerial combat listed as game features that never made it out. I imagine such infamy, they never want to repeat those mistakes. I always feel like the dance studio would have been very silly fun. Oh, we've gone to Karazhan. No people like this one. Seeing the butler morose over the table. Even having not gone in there many times over the years, the music immediately. I died in there a lot. Good God, AJ. Didn't even know for the original one. 4 Baldur's Gate 1 discs. Quad flautists. dancing in the ballroom. It's fascinating seeing all the iPads open and laptops with all the programs open as they're going live as well. And into the Sunwell on the Isle of Queldernas. Spent a lot of dailies there. For those just joining us, we have gone through the gambit of new stuff. Nothing too crazy. Some Warcraft RTSs being updated, re-released, HD remasters. WoW itself, getting player housing teased is probably the biggest thing. Which, don't get me wrong, very excited about. But nothing that wasn't within the realm of possibility. No crazy big surprises. And now we're just going on a journey through some of the music. Currently in the Burning Crusade. I'll probably get through a Wrath and then call it there. I've listened to a lot of the music over the years. I'm in desperate need of some food and an early night. I'll at least get through a Wrath. Have a swig of his beverage, actually. You sure you'll do the same out there? Something warm to drink. Keep yourselves toasty. Symbols guy. When they did the Diablo 2 remaster, did they never do a remaster for Diablo 1? Follow it as closely, but I'm sure that's on the books somewhere. Surely. Now 2's out of the way, and they've just done their expansion for 4. I imagine there's a team chipping away at that. Oh, the Black Temple. Illidan's grand old speeches at the top. I loved it to bits.
Karma, I find your duplicity hardly surprising.
It's the way Liam would growl out every word. It's going to be great to see Illidan again in like 2 or 3 years' time, whenever Last Titan happens. They might even have to finally kill him off. Bouncing my head along here. Nope. Did we just transition into Wrath? Oh, we're still on the Isle. They've got this similar... I don't know the musical term, but a similar like core that follows through. Even now to the War Within, you can recognise something that follows through from each of them. Ah.
You were not prepared.
Like you were saying earlier, Cupid, when 10 years later Demon Hunters finally got added to the game, he'd turn around to the camera during their intro cinematic. Now you are prepared. And you're like, yep. Oh, dear. Rip Gul'dan. Oh, that might be why I heard some Wrath. It's Wrath, not Rap. Oh, here it is. As long as we get to Invincible, I'm happy. Yep, now I can see it. The login screen. The Ice Crown Gate with Syndragosa sat on the top. It's Key Guy again! She comes flying down, stretches her wings, does a big old roar at the screen. WoW logs in so fast nowadays, you don't get any login screen. You get it for barely half a second. It's like when people got really annoyed that the War Within login screen was just kind of a circle with with like Donegal in it, and I'm like, yeah, but you're not there for more than 0.5 of a second anymore. We don't sit at login screens like we used to. Maybe if you AFK. But it's not like it was. You're just in. I can understand still missing it though. Everyone was kind of its own little spectacle, especially when you were queuing up on a launch day. Or servers were down, you were never getting in anyway, so you might as well just spend days on the launch screen. Had so many live service games launch and do that though, it's... This WoW's always had excellent login screen music. Especially when they hear some of their favourites and the audience start cheering. Is that loading screen up behind him? Zoom out again for me, cameraman, let me see. Just playing a slab of metal. It is the login screen. Now we're going into some zones. I was wondering if we know they're doing player housing, but is it just gonna be in Silvermoon and Quel'Thalas? Are they gonna let me go and make a house in the Howling Fjord or the Grizzly Hills? They gave absolutely no details other than maybe you can customize a rug. And have a mug that says Home Sweet Home, because how dare they tease us like this? The cameraman gave me a shot of it, it's fine. I'm just holding out for Invincible. Before I call it for the evening. I need it. Can't imagine they do an orchestra event and don't include Invincible. I imagine Stormwind and Orgrimmar would probably be next on the list after the revamped City of Silvermoon, because that was what I would assume. With that whole city for the Blood Elves getting rebuilt, fitting it in there seems like a no-brainer. Like, the end of the world's coming there. You're going to now defend your home where you live. I thought that sounded pretty likely. But Stormwind and Orgrimmar are, like, the places most people would be picking straight away. If it dictated the music you could have, though, I imagine you don't do housing without having a jukebox. The Borean Tundra. She is concentrated. It's okay, take a breath. That was a great piece. I've been saying on many of the streams in our Good Morning Azeroth bits, there's so many small assets throughout every expansion that in theory are all in the file somewhere, and they can just be like, right, that for player housing, this, that. As long as it all works and functions in however they let you move and snap stuff about, they have so much already built. that unless they really just want to be bespoke about all of it, that's a wealth of content right there. And if they apply that to a load of professions as well and make that an evergreen bit of content for all the professions, here, blacksmiths, make that armor stand for your house. Tailors, make those curtains, make that rug. Leather workers, make the animal heads that hang on the wall. You know what I mean? They could really bring life into the professions in a way that isn't tied to gear. Hope that's what they do. You still got to have enough available for folks without professions to just get, or without the gold to go on the auction house, stuff you can earn through play. Maybe tying a load to past achievements. Could do that. It'd be the parallel for me, AJ, walking into Stormwind for the first time. And whether you're Alliance and Horde, going into that home faction city, hearing its music, exploring it for the first time. It's a big deal. It felt truly massive. Especially before the game had flying. Storm Peaks? Oh no, not Storm Peaks yet, we're in Dragonblight. And all these zones are going to get a facelift in a few years. It'll be really interesting to see how they remix this old music as well, and what inflections they keep going forward. You know, I better wiggle my mouse, just because... Yeah, there we go. Oh, we have Pritt Stick here, AJ. I know the glue brand. Had it for years since school. It's a great name for your first character. Oh, warrior stick. Now, since you'll have played, orcs have the option to either like be hunched or be straight backed. There's a load of different like clan customizations for them now as well. I'd be curious to see what you'd make in the modern one. And they did announce they're like doing another set of classic servers from like fresh. Which again, great for classic folks. I cannot be tempted into it. It's too much. I feel like it'd be really difficult to play a load of classic and retail at any reasonable level. I toyed with the idea early on of, say, like, Classic Friday. The morning stream becomes we're just doing stuff in Classic, but there's still so much to do in retail. Those elite PvP sets aren't going to earn themselves. Trial of the Crusader. Some jousting. When they added the looking for group system. Pros and cons. I spent a lot of time in these goddamn grounds. I'm really internally conflicted at how well I remember this song specifically in my brain. Like, I'd all but forgotten it. And now it's here, I'm just like, oh, I'm there. I'm on the ground hitting the buttons, hitting that goddamn shield button, trying to do the charge. Ah, I see, AJ, I see. I could see how that would make it come up by. It's kind of fun trying to learn all the different mounts. Never getting that damn sword from the nearby dungeons. Quel'Danas? Still have the Battered Hilt, like, favorited on the auction house, so I check it every time. But it's always like 30k gold. And I'm like, oh, I'm well poor. Moustache. Nailed it, I have the Twizzler and everything. Good old Yogg down in Ulduar. Treacherous old god. Maybe treacherous is the wrong word. Just would get in his brains, tell you to kill your friends, you know, all that good stuff. I love how those at the keyboards, by the way, have big old WoW gaming chairs. A Symbols guy, he hasn't got to crack his stuff in a while. Oh, but that's the thing, AJ. Yogi wasn't paying you anything. It's just what you had to do. Or if it wasn't murder your friends and family, it was like, they will betray you. Nobody loves you. It was stuff like that. Battle of the Crusader raid music, I think. Oh man, people hated that room. One of the bosses, there was a load of speeches from the factions. They had to like hotfix it, they skip for it. Because people were in there for ages. Don't get me wrong, such big intro character lore scenes are great the first few times. But for those who are really speeding through the raids and the dungeons, they're like, please. The option to skip is always appreciated. Oh, are we hitting it now? The Ice Crown not invincible itself. It will all depend if a young child comes out and starts singing that operatic line. There we go. Translation for this song as well just nails the lore. My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthur. I'm just letting this one rest in my soul for a minute. And we move to Fighty Fight. You see it from the cinematic. He's raising the big undead dragon. He's getting Syndragosa out of the ground. Undead Army's about to scream. Camera's panning back up the cliff. I think I'm a little ahead of the music in that description. There it is. Deep breath. Fell in the back. Oh, another symbols guy. Didn't think you'd need more than one symbols guy. Shows how much I know. And they close off with Arthas up there on his throne. Now I know we've got many more expansions to get through, but I think for me, I'm gonna call it there for an evening. With that, I'm just going to knock the volume down a touch. Again, there's plenty of awesome music in WoW. It'll still be on the main channel for him. If you'd like to hear a few more bits and bobs. Knock it down a bit before we get into Angry Deathwing. What's left to be said? Thank you very much for watching. Coming along with me on this 30th anniversary direct. Again, I wish it had a little more oomph to it. But overjoyed to have player housing confirmed in a very nostalgic romp through all things Warcraft. If you enjoyed yourselves, hit a like button on the video for me, push our things through the algorithm, we build this community together. Subscribe for more content here on the channel. We're on the weekdays, 9 AM UK time with World of Warcraft in the morning, 6 PM on an evening for other games. We'll be continuing through Dragon Age the Veilguard, getting through that story and adventure. And you can find playlists to all the different games I've already gone through right here on the channel to binge to your heart's content. So until next time, folks, much love, take care, and bye-bye.